Hey, welcome back to Reddit Cheating Wife, the best channel for cheating stories. Like and subscribe to the channel for cheating stories like this.
Should I, 48 male, tell my wife, 44 female, that I received a tape of her in the mail? This is an unusual occurrence. I've been married to my wife for 20 years. I've never suspected her of infidelity, and our life has been fantastic. I get a package in the mail on January 1st. It's a DVD sent to me with the words "Your eyes alone." My wife is having with 3 different males. She was significantly younger, and based on her figure, look, and hairstyle, she was about the period we were going out, either before, during, or after we were engaged. She grew her hair longer for the wedding and kept it that way. First, I have no clue who provided it to me other than one of the 3 people on the DVD, none of whom I know. I'm guessing it's one of my wife's ex-husbands. Second, I'm not sure why they sent it. Is it their intention to imply that she cheated on me? I don't have a frame of reference since the video isn't time-marked. She had her hair short for years until we got engaged. So it might have been at a period of time, most likely before we started dating. Also, what are they trying to accomplish if this was shot before we started dating? I'm aware that my wife had other relationships. I had 3 times the number of partners she had before we married. But that was 20 years ago, and I believe we've moved on. However, it seems that this individual or people are not. The whole situation is odd. I have no idea what's going on. I haven't informed my wife since I'm not sure how she'd react. She's incredibly daring, but I don't believe she'd enjoy the notion of her history coming back to haunt her. But I don't believe I'll be able to solve this until I tell her. Edit. This has been updated. Yesterday afternoon, I spoke with my wife. Some suggested she view it in private, so I offered her that choice. She did, and we spoke for a long time. Some of it is now clearer. The 2 amateur-looking movies were shot on the same night by 2 housemates. That's why the camera doesn't move and the room looks the same. When I inquired why the bed looked different, she said it was because the sheets were a little soiled, so they replaced them before they tried again. The other is a guy she dated before we began dating when she and I met. She knows this individual is pals with one of the previously mentioned roommates, and she believes it was him that gathered the 3 tapes and provided them to us. Why? She acknowledges that he attempted to contact with her on Facebook last summer. He attempted to make it again when she did, so she stopped. She believes he sent the DVD to raise a problem with us. For the first time, I am beginning to have reservations. Her responses are rational, yet they look a little strange to me. And honestly, I'm simply outraged that she did 2 people in one night. I realize that was 20 years ago, but it's still difficult to accept. Call me shallow if you want. Also, she didn't appear by the DVD or the fact that I had it. Rather, she seemed upset that this individual had sent it. I had a feeling I didn't have it, but now that I have, oh well. Many concerns remain unanswered, such as why the recordings are dated 1996-1997, and the DVD was manufactured in 2013, yet I'm just receiving it now. That may seem insignificant, but it might be everything. Furthermore, how does this individual know where I reside? Facebook does not provide such information. Being in touch with someone does, so you can understand why I'm skeptical. Edit 2. I'd want to explain something. I had a lot of negative criticism, largely from people who are annoyed with me because I'm furious with my wife for being with 2 guys on the same night. It's none of my concern, it's been 20 years, I should grow up, that type of stuff. Look, I said that was difficult to accept. Most guys are aware that their spouse has been with other people before them. However, seeing their spouse with 2 guys on the same night is difficult to bear. I didn't say I was changing my mind about her, or that I was leaving, or that I was feeling any other way. It's simply tough for a married guy to see and understand. I'll get through it, but it won't be easy. And to everyone who says, it was 20 years ago, lighten up. I dare you to sit back, take a drink, and watch 2 young guys having intercourse with your wife on the same night, and tell me how you feel about it. At best, I'm irritated. You won't love her any less, but you won't feel fantastic afterwards, believe me. So thank you for calling me an asshole. But until you're in that situation, I'll ignore you, Last edit, this is my final revision. Thank you everyone for your encouragement, but all I can say is that it's time for me to make some choices. I hacked into my wife's Facebook account. It was juvenile and immature of me, but I did it anyway. And I discovered things troubling enough that I'm going to have to think long and hard about what I'm going to do next. I'd given her the benefit of the doubt during this whole ordeal, but now a shade has been thrown, and I'm doubting her more than ever. To say I'm heartbroken is an understatement. It's time for me to go back to work on my life and myself. Thank you for your time and consideration. Story 2. Wife of 12 years cheated while I was deployed, told me 4 years later. I'll do my best to make this as brief as possible, but I'm absolutely confused right now. There are 31 males and 31 females. We've been married for 8 years and together for 12. We lived in 5 states and traveled to almost 20 countries together. We were separated for a good portion of that period, 3 years, for my different trainings and deployments, but we kept in touch through letters and emails. It wasn't easy, but we gave it our all and made it through. I left the service in late 2016, and we began a new life together in a new place. We were doing well until she requested to explore an open relationship in 2019, at which point we began working with a marital therapist to assist us get through it. It took a lot of self-learning and serious attention for me to get over the envy, but it was balanced out by my attraction to the notion. During our open relationship, I saw 2 persons, and she saw 8 to 10. I quickly learned how easy it is to be a woman on dating apps. Overall, it wasn't as difficult to keep up as I had anticipated. We read a lot about it and listen to a lot of podcasts about it. We were well prepared and seemed to be open and honest. We learnt a lot about ourselves and each other, but I don't believe I could keep it up in the long run. It took a lot of effort. When COVID arrived, we essentially put it on hold. We never actually announced it was officially finished, but we thought it was a horrible idea to keep going for health and safety reasons. She told me we needed to chat last weekend. She admitted to me that she slept with a man she used to work with 4 years ago while I was overseas in the military, and the month before I returned home. Just once, but she never told me until last week. This was before we ever considered the open agreement. Furthermore, when she traveled to a different state to meet some friends last month, she allegedly ended up with a man friend of hers twice while there. She also admitted to me last weekend that she cheated in 2016. When she first returned, she simply said that she had spent time with some old man acquaintances, making no mention of her. She had slept with 3 or 4 males in our open scenario, but it was during our mutual, clear agreement. I realized that our open/pseudo-open 6-month relationship may be perceived in a particular manner, but I'm more concerned with her cheating on me when we were 1,000,000% monogamous and lying to me about what she did last month while abroad. I'm angry, sad, and disrespectful. We both worked hard for this relationship, enjoyed fantastic adventures, and built some pretty incredible lives together, so the prospect of it ending is a nightmare. I asked her to leave for a week, hired my own therapist, in addition to our couples, and decided to employ a divorce attorney since we have various assets that need expert care. I don't think I'll ever be able to trust her again, so what's the purpose of staying with her? I also informed her that I believe she has an addiction as a result of the open situation and the infidelity. I spoke with her for the first time in a week today, and she made me feel like I was being too dramatic. She apologized sincerely and requested that the process be restarted. She said that I would not be doing any work and that all of the trust building will be her responsibility. She desires a fresh start and pledges there will be no open relationships, cheating, lying, or cover-ups. She said that we can recuperate faster than ever before. She said that she waited so long to inform me because she was frightened of losing me and became entrapped in her falsehoods. She claims she with other males to feel like people like her and want to pay attention to her. She receives a sense of self-worth as a result of this, since it is something she suffers with. I informed her that I had employed a divorce attorney, and she appealed for a temporary separation, claiming that I was overreacting by hiring a divorce counsel. I have through a lot of trauma as a child, and I simply want to protect myself, my emotions, and my future. no matter how difficult it is to say goodbye to something I've loved so dearly. Trust is really important to me. I'll never look at her the same way again. Is it just me, or am I the insane one here? We've gone through so much as a group. I can't tell the difference between up and down anymore. She seemed perplexed as to why I was taking the betrayal so seriously and how, after all I'd done into keeping us together, long distance, combat deployments, open relationship, all the moves, etc., there was no second chance for her. Edit: after a week of counsel from this site, close friends and my therapist, I am proceeding with the divorce, and she will get all of the papers next week. Looking back with complete clarity, I see that I was misled, gaslighted, and cheated on for years while I fought harder and harder to improve our marriage, even to the point of opening our relationship. My only hope now is that I can regain confidence in others and move on from this.